Every Scrum meeting has a job. Sprint planning has the most important one. This is the meeting where your next 2 weeks get decided. Usually 2 weeks. What the team will work on, who is taking what, and what finished looks like. When sprint planning works, every person on the team leaves the room knowing exactly what they own and why it matters. Remember that. When it does not work, you spend 2 weeks guessing. So let me break it down. Sprint planning answers 2 questions. Question 1, what can we finish this sprint? And question 2, how we will do it? That is the entire meeting. 2 questions. Everything else is detail. If your sprint planning runs for 90 minutes and nobody can clearly answer those 2 questions, at the end, it was not planning, it was discussion. So here is how it works in practice. Usually the product owner walks in with a backlog. So the backlog is that ranked list of everything the team could work on. The key word here is could. So he presents the top items and explains why they matter right now. Not the whole list, just the priorities. Then the team discusses how much of this can we realistically finish in 2 weeks. So in Scrum, sprints can be from 1 to 4 weeks. Now, not how much can we start, but how much can we finish. And that distinction matters more than anything else in this meeting. Starting 10 things and finishing 3 is not a progress, it's chaos with a schedule. So, once the team agrees on what to take on, they talk through the how. Who will pick up which items? What needs to happen first, where the dependencies are. If the designer cannot start until the copy is approved, that needs to surface now, not on day 6. And here is the important part I want you to hear. The team chooses the work, not the product owner, not some manager, but the team members by themselves. The product owner says what matters most, then the team members decide how much they can deliver. That negotiation is the heartbeat of sprint planning meeting. If the product owner pushes 10 items and team believes they can finish 6, the answer is 6, not 10 with a prayer. Now, in a traditional work, you say yes to everything and figure it out later. In Scrum, honest commitment is the entire point. You look at your work, you assess your capacity, and you commit to what you can actually deliver. And capacity is not theoretical, it is calendar-based. Look at vacations, look at half days, sick days, and everything. Look at the carryover work from last sprint. If 2 people are out of Thursday and Friday, this is not a full 2-week sprint. Plan for what you actually have. Also, if you commit to 5 things and finish only 3, that is not a failure, that is feedback. So your next sprint, commit to less. You calibrate. That is how Scrum teams get better over time. Now, let me ask you this question. I want you to pause the video for a moment and write down in the comment section. What do you think? What happens when nobody speaks up in this meeting? Leadership pushes 12 items into the sprint and nobody says nothing. So what do you think it will happen? Put your thoughts in the comments. By day 6, half work is behind. By day 10, everyone is stressed and pointing fingers. And in sprint retrospective meeting, someone says, Scrum does not work for our team. That was never a Scrum problem. That was a planning meeting where nobody felt safe saying that is too much. Sprint planning exists to prevent that exact situation. Okay? How many backlog items a team can complete in a sprint varies based on many things. The size of the tasks, the sprint duration, is it 1 or 4 weeks, the team capacity, experience, and factors like sick leave. So, in marketing, sprint planning is where you decide this sprint we are finalizing the landing page, launching 2 social campaigns, and delivering Q3 report draft. The newsletter redesign waits until next sprint. In HR, this is the meeting where the team says, we are screening candidates for 3 open roles, scheduling second-round interviews, and finalizing the onboarding checklist. The handbook update moves to the next sprint. In operations, the team agrees, we fix vendor onboarding this sprint. The reporting dashboard waits. So, as you can see, different departments use the same discipline, where they decide what gets done, say no to the rest. Start with clarity. So here is what I need you to know right now as a team member walking into your first sprint planning. You do not need to run the meeting. You don't need to set the priorities. That is the product owner's job, except if you want to become the product owner, of course. Your job is 3 things. First, to understand what you are committing to. If something is unclear, ask, can we clarify what done looks like for this item? That question alone prevents half the confusion teams experience mid-sprint. Number 2, flag it if it's too much. If the team is taking more on than that you think it's realistic, say it. I want to make sure we can actually finish this. Can we look at what each of us has on our plate before we commit? That is not pushback. That is protecting the team's credibility. Okay? And number 3, leave knowing exactly what you own. Before you walk out, you should be able to answer, what am I delivering this sprint? And what does done looks like for each item. If you cannot answer both, ask before the meeting ends. Okay? Now, I want you to do something for me. Okay? Write down 3 things you could realistically deliver in the next 2 weeks. Got them? Good. Now, from those 3 things, cross one out. If you hesitate to cross one out, that tells you something important. You are still wish listing, not planning. Sprint planning is the practice of choosing what matters most and letting the rest wait. That discipline is what separates Scrum from a to-do list. Next, I want you to download the Sprint Planning Participation Guide. It's below this video. It has everything you just learned in one-page format. What to prepare before the meeting, what to listen during the meeting, and exact phrases to use when it's your turn to speak. Bring it to your next sprint planning. Why? Because it will make you the most prepared person in the room. And if you want a place to ask questions and connect with other non-technical professionals making this same transition as you, join our private community. The link is in the description and here on your screen. Okay? Now you know how to sprint starts. But what happens every day during the sprint? That daily 15-minute meeting that replaces 10 emails, that is next. I'll see you there.